how to play. This is the way we practice to play. And this was perfect. This should be the standard for how Hawks basketball is. And, I'm glad we got the win tonight.
I hope these New York fans find their way to the exit real quick. Boo, take y'all ass home.
Welcome in, Hawks fans. Your boy Russell is back at it again for another Believe in Hawks episode. The Hawks get a very impressive win tonight in Atlanta, snapping a 3-game home losing skid, beating the Knicks 121-116 in a game where, that was high level intensity right there. The way that game finished, that fourth quarter, that's what you consider not exactly there yet, but playoff-like basketball. And the Hawks were able to come out and make big plays and big stops to beat the Knicks tonight and keep themselves afloat through the injuries right now. Zaccharie Risacher with the game of his career so far, 33 points for the rookie. He had a 27-point first half. 6 of 8 from 3 in the first half. Finished the game 6 of 10 for the game from 3. He having an explosive and probably what you would consider a well overdue game, giving the Hawks a big offensive boost, especially in that first half where Trae Young was struggling with his shot. And really tonight the offense ran through Jalen, Risacher, and Trae. And big shout out to Clint Capella. Clint Capella, I've mentioned in the last episode, Clint has really not had any meaningful, impactful games, it felt like, this season. This was probably his first one. 18 points tonight, including a big 2 clutch free throws and a fast break dunk after a Cat 3-point miss to help get the Hawks to lead and keep it from that point on. I appreciate you guys tuning into the Believe in Hawks podcast. Obviously, we're going to break down this game, talk about the performances, and talk about where the Hawks are right now, what my thoughts are coming out of this game. If this is the first time listening to the podcast, very much appreciate you coming in, listening to me talk about hopefully your favorite team, the Atlanta Hawks, or you could just be an NBA casual fan. All loved and appreciated and welcome here. Follow me on Twitter, Bryce_2K, for my takes, everything under the sun about the Hawks. Also, follow if you are watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. Appreciate all people, all support, and also my audio listeners as well. Go ahead, leave a rating, 5 stars. Thank you. And a review. So, like I said, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in to Believe in Hawks. And like I said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So, like I said, the Hawks win 121-116 in a game where it was very back and forth. It was very just Hawks lead, Knicks hot from 3, Hawks creating turnovers. It was a tale of 2 games. The Hawks in this game, the reason why they were in the position they were in, because they were able to turn the Knicks over multiple times and get themselves second positions. They got a lot of second chance points tonight, a lot of offensive rebounds tonight. Knicks were in this game because they were able to shoot the ball. Hawks' luck against teams shooting the ball continues, where teams are able to still shoot at a high clip against them. Tonight, the Knicks shot 47% from 3. They almost shot 50% from 3 tonight against this Hawks team. And obviously, it's hard, especially in today's game, to win when a team is shooting that well from 3. But the Hawks were able to overcome that shooting performance. And they basically shot 40%. They shot 15 to 38 from 3. So they still had a comparable 3-point shooting performance. Overall, Knicks shot 49%. Hawks shot 45% from the field. Hawks 73% for the free throw line. Knicks 80%. Hawks only turned the ball over 8 times. They weren't sloppy. That's one thing that has gotten this team in trouble in previous games. They start turning it over. They have just a string of turnovers, and then the other team's able to take advantage of that. And then that's where there starts to be issues. There starts to be, the team, losing a lead or letting a game get out of hand because they start to create turnovers. Hawks never really had a stretch like that tonight where they just turned the ball over like that. And playing a clean game, obviously, in the league will help you increase your chances of winning. And the Hawks were able to turn the Knicks over 15 times in the ballgame. They had 31 assists, 48 rebounds total, 16 offensive boards tonight, showing you, again, dominant on the glass against the Knicks team, where you think Cat's in there, what he could do. And he had a good game tonight, but realistically, Clint was able to go up there, and it was a team rebounding effort. And here's the thing people don't understand. Jalen Johnson is actually averaging like 10 rebounds a game. For a guy who's 6'9", he has just been as important on those boards as Clint or anybody else in this team has been. And that's helped in what's happened in this game. 12 steals tonight for the Hawks. Hawks have very high stealing numbers every game, it feels like. Dyson, I believe, had 4 steals tonight. So he was a big part of that, of course, and everybody else was getting. Risacher had a few steals as well, which we'll talk more about in detail. And just overall, the Hawks did a lot of good things tonight to get themselves the win over the Knicks, a team that obviously has deep playoff aspirations. So this is probably the most impressive win the Hawks have had to date against a quality Eastern Conference team, even though the Eastern Conference right now isn't necessarily sitting in the best standing. As people know, the Eastern Conference has not had a great start to the year. Only 2 teams are above 500 in the Eastern Conference, which is the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. Everybody else is 500 and below. So even with the injuries in the start the Hawks have had, they are very much still right in it. Very early standings, but if based off this win, the Hawks would technically be the 6th seed right now in the Eastern Conference, where they're placed, and the Knicks moved down to 8 on a 2-game losing streak now. And so, like I'm always gonna, and I'm gonna say this multiple times in the video or in the episode, Hawks just gotta stay afloat because the Eastern Conference right now is not looking that impressive. So really good for them to do what they did tonight. But let's go ahead and dive into the player performances. Zaccharie Risacher, Mr. Risacher, big game. He has been overdue for a game like this for a while. One of the things with Risacher is that he gets good looks. He has just been missing. And so, and his best game to this point was a 17-point performance, which isn't bad. I believe that was top 5 in highest scoring games a rookie in the rookie class has had up to that point. Tonight, after this 33-point performance, Risacher now has had the most points for a rookie in a game this season. So now he is, as the number 1 overall draft pick, at highest scoring game that they have had from that draft class. Also tonight, from Hawks PR, Zaccharie Risacher tallied 33 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 3 steals, becoming just the 10th rookie in NBA history, or the 10th rookie in the NBA since 1973 to 1974, when blocks and steals were recorded officially to finish a game with those minimums, and the first rookie to do so since Chris Webber back in March of 1994. So a little bit of historic history there about the performance that Risacher gave us tonight. And also, this was also the first 30-point game a rookie has had since, I'll give you some time, Trae Young. So obviously, Risacher having a bit of a historic performance, I guess you could say, a little bit tonight. Nothing new, but something that hasn't been done in a while for a rookie and the way he did this game. Because the one thing about Risacher that I've said multiple times on this podcast, he does a lot of the little things, like his timing with rebounding, his timing with tapping rebounds out. Sometimes he's been great when sometimes a guy's putting up a shot and getting a well-timed putback. He did that tonight. He's defended. He's created some turnovers. She's passed the ball well. Like, he does a lot of the good stuff. And you see it. You see flashes. You see flashes of Risacher, right? But he hasn't really put it together. And we've seen it in the Summer League. We've seen it in the preseason. But this is the first time when obviously games mean something. We have seen what he has done and the way he has played in this situation. All right. And so for him to give that type of performance tonight in a game, like I said, Trae Young struggled in the first half. The offense was not clicking on all cylinders in that first half. So for him to give that type of offensive performance in the first half to keep this team afloat is extremely impressive for a rookie, a guy who is still learning the game, a guy who is adjusting, and big for the team because that's what they needed tonight. You needed a guy who could step up and score. And I've said that in these few games that we've had with the injuries, we've had good scoring from other guys, but a lot of it still felt like, Trae and Jalen got to carry the scoring because we don't have a lot of guys who, outside of Jalen and Trae, with Bogey out and Hunter out, and if Kongu's not on it that game, where you're just like, we got guys who can carry the scoring, Like, that's what the Knicks have. They have 3 guys who can go get 30. A lot of the good teams have, like, if we needed to, that third guy could get 30. Risacher was able to provide that tonight. That third guy got 30. And that was extremely important for the type of game this was. And I want to just talk about, too, that fourth quarter in general, because obviously Risacher in the second half wasn't lighting it up. Obviously he was hot first half, second half, wasn't obviously the same output, but the Hawks in general down that stretch especially between that, I would say 6 to 3 minute mark, were able to get stops. Risacher was a part of that. Trae got a turnover. Dyson was active on Jalen Brunson, who did a great job on Jalen Brunson tonight, and I'll get more into Dyson in a minute, but just the way they slowed the game down and just said, we got to run half court. Let's try to get the best quality shot we can each possession. Because that's how you have to play in the playoffs. They're not going to let you run up and down, obviously, unless you create turnovers. And so it was really impressive to see the team do that tonight. And that's probably where I would say for Risacher, he had some big free throws late. In that situation, some growth can be made there, just because a lot of attention is going to be given to Trae. Knicks or whoever is going to trap Trae, try to get out of all of his hands. That is another type of situation he can take advantage of and make some plays. I think, too, with it, the one thing he can show Quinn Snyder right now is if he plays well like this, continuing moving forward, whenever DeAndre Hunter just gets back, like they do with the center position with Clint and Okongwu, you now have an opportunity to say, depending on who's playing well, you may not have to finish the game with DeAndre Hunter. You have the option to, but Risacher has shown if he's defending, if he's scoring, why not finish the game with the Rook? So Risacher, like I said tonight, man, he was great. He really did a really good job tonight. Just like I said, lifting this team and being confident. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, Jalen said it after the game. He said, I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him because he knows he comes in every day. He puts in work, because that's the biggest thing you want from your guys. Anybody you bring on to your team, but especially your rookies. Work ethic, desire to get better, dedication to the craft. And Risacher has shown that. And you have to understand, playing in pro leagues, he learned from a very young age, and a lot of these pro leagues, a lot of these guys aren't the most talented or the most athletic. So the biggest thing they emphasize in overseas leagues in general is fundamentals and different ways you can impact the game without athleticism. And then if you have athleticism, that can just take your game to the next level. The reason why Risacher was the first overall draft pick is that he wasn't the typical Frenchman. He was a guy who was athletic and also now has more developed skills, as you can see through the way he plays. And now he's moving to the NBA game, which is obviously just everybody's a great athlete. Everybody can play. He's no longer, like he mentioned, the most athletic guy on the floor. So he has to now rely on those skills. He has to be confident in his shooting and different things to now be productive while he's playing. And again, it's a part of the learning process. It's a part of him getting better. It's a part of him developing as a player in this league. Trae Young has talked about how much, him and Zach have linked. Some people say Trae has taken Risacher under his wing a little bit. And obviously the coaching staff has been telling him, shoot, just keep shooting because, eventually you might get hot. I'd rather you keep shooting than not shoot. And then, because I said at times the offense, and Risacher did this too at times where he would just kind of pass things up. And it's like, no, just take the shot. Just take the shot, man. If you got it, you got it. So, like I said, really big performance from Risacher tonight, man. 33 points. Big, big, big for this Hawks team. Definitely give me your thoughts on what you thought of Risacher's performance tonight. How impressed were you by the rookie in his breakthrough game with this team? So, like I said, big game for him. So, now, we're going to get into Trae Young here. So, Trae Young, Trae Young in this game, he didn't start off great, right? This was not a great start. He had a bad Boston game. I was worried after he got hurt because of the rib strain. Could he miss games? Came back tonight. Maybe, and it was fine. It seemed like he was fine, right? So he came back tonight, started off cold again. You're a little worried, like, here we go. And I felt like tonight, and especially in the tale of the two halves, I felt like Trae was forcing some threes tonight that he didn't have to force. He did that in the Boston game too. I don't know why. I know he'll take those shots, but I feel like he's been forcing it more the last couple of games. But in the fourth quarter, one thing that really helped him down the stretch was that he was willing to just run the offense and create for other people and just allow the best shot to come, driving to the paint. Driving to the paint and creating, either getting a layup at the rim, making them foul them, or again, they're collapsing on you because of who you are. So then passing it out for a better shot somewhere else. He finished with 23 points tonight, 6 rebounds and 10 assists. He has had a 6 positive plus minus. Only had 2 turnovers tonight. 2 turnovers. And Risacher only has 0 turnovers. So doing all that with not creating a turnover. And also, that man hit a couple of step back crossover dribbles. Confident shot tonight. Love it to see it. But yeah, so, Trae, the big thing for him is that you scored 23 tonight. So you still were able to give your team something offensively. You had 10 assists. You were still able to create plays for other people. He created a turnover on, I believe it was Deuce McBride late in the game. Didn't get a score off that opportunity, but again, active defensively, stepping up to the challenge. It just doing what he can do out there to try to, help this team win. I think one thing that has been underrated about Trae's season so far is he's deferred to Jalen a lot because they're trying to get him comfortable and get him in a place where he feels good about what he's doing. And I think it's working. But I also think for him, he's also trying to maneuver through that and also try to figure out, okay, when do I become aggressive? When do I, step up and really take over games? Because I feel like Trae hasn't really had a game to me. And he's had big games, but he hasn't had a game to me where I feel like he's like said, all right, I'm taking this over. He's kind of, especially in the first couple of games of the season, he just had bunches of points. He'll have like a 6-8 point stretch here and then like a 6-point stretch here. And then, obviously the free throws, getting to the line a lot. And that'll get him 30 points. He hasn't really had a game where he's just said, I'm taking over this game. I'm showing you why I'm Trae Young. If that's something that I'm still waiting to see from him. But at the same time, I also understand from his perspective, I do have Jalen. I don't have to do this myself. I don't have to just be the hero. And especially if Risacher comes along and other guys are hot, he doesn't have to. And I think that's just part of the growing process for him right now with the team. So I think Trae, did well tonight for what he did. Obviously, like I said, shot selection could be better, of course. But, still, like I said, he made plays when they need to be made. And he was a big part of why the Hawks were able to win this game. Obviously, getting that stop, running, Clint Capella getting rewarded. You always tell your bigs, if you're someone who's a big, plays pickup, plays basketball, anybody right now watching the pod, listening to the pod, they always say run because you will be rewarded. And Trae will reward his team. Trae is not afraid to reward his teammates. And Clint was awarded tonight, and that was part of a big sequence there that created a very that was able to get the Hawks the lead and then to be able to keep it. So Trae Young tonight, like I said, 23 and 10, did what he needed to do out there to help the team win. Jalen Johnson with another 20-point game, 23 points tonight, 23 points, 15 rebounds. Goes back to what I was saying about Jalen being a top, I think he's a top 10, actually maybe top 20 rebounder in the league. He had the highest plus minus also tonight, plus 26. When Jalen was on the floor, he was a huge plus against the Knicks tonight. Like I said, 23 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists, 50% from 3, 10 of 18 from the field. Jalen Johnson, man, is really kind of figured out how. And Tabitha, the reporter for the Hawks, mentioned about Jalen and just like how Quinn and them assess him as success. It's not all about scoring for Jalen Johnson. Yes, of course you want him to score as your second option, but he can impact the game in different ways. And I've mentioned this before in the podcast. I said Jalen can impact the game in different ways. It's not just scoring, even though that's what we focus on. He's been rebounding at a high clip all season. So he's been very active on the boards, helping Clint Capella. And he's been big with the offensive boards. And he's been big, just ending possessions. And then obviously the ability to pass the ball, 7 assists tonight. Now the points are starting to come. And now this is the Jalen Johnson that the Hawks imagined. A guy who basically is a triple-double threat every night he steps on the floor, attacks the boards, creates for his teammates, and can score the ball. I mean, Jalen plays like this. I mean, I think he'll be most certainly worth the contract. And I also said tonight was big because I mentioned during the game, Trae and Jalen have really just not had a lot of games where they've both played well together. And during this stretch with injuries, if they're going to win games, they have to both be good on the floor together. And so, Jalen has kind of been hitting his stride last few games. Trae's been struggling the last few games. It was good to kind of see them kind of get closer to kind of being even kill tonight. But like I said, Jalen playing the game he's been playing recently, kind of stepping up, getting more comfortable with what he's been asked to do, has really been a big help for this team and a big part of why, they're 2-3 in the last, obviously, 3 games. So, they have some games coming up that are also winnable, and also I see those games as potential big Jalen Johnson games. And if Jalen continues to play this way moving forward, I think that the team may be able to pick up some wins here, get a little streak going before obviously they play Boston again, I believe, next week at the start of the NBA Cup, I believe, is next week. So we're actually about to start getting into NBA Cup play here really, 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 really soon. Yeah, they play Detroit, Chicago, then Boston next Tuesday. So, yeah. And then they get a rematch with the Wizards, Portland, Sac. And obviously they'll start to get healthier as time goes on. But, yeah, big game tonight for Jalen Johnson for sure tonight. Really, really needed from him to continue his progression in his development. As you can see with this team, the theme is young players developing confidence, and you're seeing better basketball. We knew this was a young team. We knew there was potential here. Now, early in the season, you're seeing the confidence rise with Risacher, with Jalen. You're seeing better performances, and you're seeing a better brand of basketball overall from the Hawks. Dyson Daniels tonight. Bad offensive game. I'm not even going to sit here and sugarcoat it. For people who love to hear that, Dyson did not have a good offensive game. He only had 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3-16 from the field, 0-4 for 3, right? But he had 4 steals and was very big in keeping Jalen Brunson to only 21 points tonight, 8 of 18 from the field for him, 4 of 11 from 3. And really, he impacted and he bothered Jalen Brunson throughout the game. That's, again, if Dyson doesn't score the ball, it's not the end of the world. It's a big plus. It helps. It's good. But we know why he's here. For the defense. Bothering your best player. Making it difficult on your best player. This man said, I'm trying to be a first-team All-NBA defender. So he's going to put in work night after night to make sure that that can happen. And he was a very big part of the defensive game plan against him tonight, which really never allowed Jalen Brunson to really, truly take over the game. Because Jalen has that type of ability. Biggest guy for the Knicks tonight was Karl Anthony Towns. He had, 34 and 16. And obviously, that's just, Hawks don't have the size outside of Capella, but Capella was battling with Cat tonight. And Cat was also flailing all over the place, which is hilarious. But, Dyson, that's his value defensively. Just creating defensive havoc, helping defend the other team's best offensive player, which then helps the overall defense. And then when you got him and Keaton Wallace, who's been a dog defensively, and Risacher defending, I mean, the Hawks has a group they can put on the floor that can boggle you defensively and lock you down offensively. And so the Hawks ain't had that last year. And Dyson is a big part of why they have it this year. So Dyson Daniels, even though he did not give you the offensive performance you wanted tonight, he did give you the defensive performance that you wanted tonight. So got to give a big credit to him on that. And like I told you, Clint Capella, 18 points tonight. Felt like he impacted a game for the first time this season. Big free throws. He's shooting, I think they said he was shooting 75% on the year from the free throw line. And that's been something people have been critical of Clint about, is his free throw shooting. He's shooting 75%. So he's basically being a reliable free throw shooter right now. And that's huge for a guy like that. And again, taking good quality shots. Clint really has not taken a lot of bad shots. He hasn't just been putting all these shots back up and missing and bricking. And then, so if you think about it, I mean, I really haven't been pissed with Clint like that this much this season. I mean, Clint really hasn't played a lot, and he also, like I said, he hasn't taken a lot of bad shot attempts and things like that. He's played good basketball. I mean, like I said, not impactful till today, but he hasn't done anything to piss anybody off. So, I mean, Clint. This is where, again, the center position has been a controversial topic for this team because of the handling of it by Quinn. But at the same time, this is why you have both. There's going to be games where a Kongu got it going offensively, and the flow of the team is better. And there's just some games that Clint is just a better matchup to have out there. He helps. That's just how stuff is. That's just how things go sometimes. And you have the ability to switch between the two guys instead of saying, well, this is all we have. We got to stick with what we got. Yeah, like I said, Kongu didn't have a great game tonight. 1 of 6, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. The up and down Oyeka roller coaster continues. Had 18 and 10 last game, 2 points this game. One of the reasons why he has not been able to firmly take over this job is just the inconsistency. I don't know if that's because he's coming off the bench, so it's hard for him to have a consistency every night because he's not, necessarily a part of the offensive game plan. But at the same time, you see the flashes. And that's why if it's a night-to-night basis, we'll see. This wasn't his night tonight. Garrison Matthews, 2 threes. I believe he's hit a 3 in every game he's played in. 2 threes, at least 2 threes in every game he's played in this year. Continues to give the Hawks production from the three-point line and gives effort defensively. Keaton Wallace, defensively, big challenge. Garton Brunson was also able to give him some trouble. Garton, the other guys, Josh Hart and all that, continuing to impress me, continuing to make me say, Keaton Wallace, man, we gotta talk about Keaton Wallace. That man definitely, I think, is very deserving of staying up and not going to the G League. That's just me. He seems like he's not a G League player to me. Seems like a guy I'd want to keep him on the roster for sure. But again, the trust that you now have if you're Quinn and this guy, saying if Trae had to miss a game, or if Kobe had to miss a game, which he has been, or even Vic, I got a guy I know who can come in there, be a dog defensively, go toe-to-toe with other teams' offensive players, and he also can give you something offensively. He's been giving the Hawks something offensively these last few games. And obviously that was one part of his game that you knew defensively he was good. But what could he give you offensively? This man's not Trent Forrest 2.0, everybody. This man's better. And then Devin Rodney, he got some cardio tonight, 11 points. Whoa, cap. No, he did not get 11 points. He got 0 points. 11 minutes. That's what I mean by cardio. Had the biggest plus, put the biggest minus on the team. I mean, Devin Rodney's been good for the Hawks pretty much the majority of this run. Had a bad game tonight. Happens in the league. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the game tonight. Like I said, big win for the Hawks to stay afloat, beat the Knicks tonight in Atlanta. Knicks fans were in the building. Trae Young after the game saying, y'all need to get out of here as quickly as possible. I love to see it. Jalen Johnson saying, listen, what you saw tonight, the way we played tonight, should be the standard for Hawks basketball. And if the Hawks play like this moving forward, watch out if this team gets healthy. That's all I'm going to say. So, but I think that'll just about do it for me. Obviously, big game for Zaccharie Risacher tonight. Risacher breakthrough game tonight helps the Hawks as Jalen and Trae, and the Hawks big three, as I call them, carry them to a win over the New York Knicks tonight. 121 to 116, like I said. Appreciate you guys tuning to Believe in Hawks podcast. Obviously, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Bryce_2K. Listen through audio, leave a rating or review. Watch this on YouTube, subscribe, and like the video. I appreciate all the love that you guys give me as we go through this journey of a season. Hawks back at it against the Detroit Pistons on Friday night. First in Detroit before coming back to Atlanta in a back-to-back against the Chicago Bulls. I'm your boy, Bryce Lewis. See you next time.